Hello, beautiful friends. I'm Ananda, the Galactic Mystic, and this is Navigational Astrology. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today so we could talk about this Aries full moon. Are you ready? So I'm going to talk a little bit about this full moon, and then I am going to do my full moon messages for each sign. These are, of course, general readings slash messages, and I know you know how that goes. Take what you know is for you and leave the rest, and at least check your sun and your rising sign. You are, of course, free to check the signs of your other planets if, say, you would like to know how this energy may be impacting certain aspects of your life or psyche. Now, it's a little bit hard to talk about this full moon without talking about October because this full moon, of course, it is happening at the end of September. And it really is this gateway into eclipse season, which will be October. And October is it's a huge month. None of us will exit the month of October as the same people who entered. And I say that while also recognizing that not every lunar cycle and not every eclipse season is hugely impactful for every single person. However, for those who will feel this impact, it will be huge. Okay, so this full moon in Aries is very much like it's a bit of a glimpse. Okay, it's a release valve that reveals your new thing, the new pathway, the new road, the new you, the new insert, what's going on with you, the new thing. But it may feel a little bit out of place because it is in October that a lot of the pieces will begin to fall into place. And I say that while, it may not feel like it's coming into place at the time, but that's how it works. Things aren't always what they seem at first glance. And I want you to remember that as we walk through this very powerful time. So I am going to do a separate video. I'm actually going to do a private live event on Zoom about the whole month of October. I'm going to upload it here on YouTube after editing out for the privacy of those who join. If you would like to be a part of that live event, let me know and I can send you the Zoom link. It's free. And I'm really excited to share some things with you about October. But anyway, let's refocus to this moment, this Aries full moon. So I want to talk a little bit about Aries energy in general, or at least my view of Aries energy, which is not limited to anger or passion or leadership or things like that. Of course, Aries does encompass those energies, but at a deeper level, Aries is about courage, about stepping into spaces, timelines, situations that scare us a little bit, but we know give us an opportunity to reveal our inner warrior. It gives our inner warrior something to go conquer, not another person, not in a not in the way that we normally think of that energy. Aries has a very sacred connection with both beginnings and endings. And this full moon is in the early degrees of Aries. So this very much is that birth canal. This is where the snake bites her tail. This is the place where a new cycle begins. And because this is a full moon, this is a revealing of that new past that we are all stepping into. You know, when a baby is born, or when a mother is giving birth, just before the baby's head crowns, that sensation that is felt is called the ring of fire. And the very action of giving birth is very much an Aries type of thing. Aries is cardinal fire. This is the initiation of fire. And then at our end of life, many cultures of humans, from as far back as we know to go, handle the end of life with fire as well. In my tradition, fire is a different type of element than the others. You know, of course, talking about the 4-element system, you know, earth, fire, wind, air, water, right? So earth, air, and water already exist. They make up this physical reality. They are part of the physical construct of this existence. And then fire is not only something that we can create with the right tools and right situation, but it also is what brings us to life. Fire represents our essence, our soul fire. It is that the heat of the metabolism of our cells. It is what truly animates us. Our body is made of earth, water, and we need air. But fire is that spark of life. And it brings people together. I always think of storytelling when I think of fire. And there are a lot of aspects to the energy right now that speak of an awareness of the vast chasm in our world that separates like human and nature. We live in a world where that has been severed. We're bringing it back together, though, aren't we? We're awakening within the trance of that separation in order to breathe life into a more natural way of being. This full moon is a big part of that. And our asteroid goddess of discord, Aries, is a big part of this as well. So let me bring up the chart and we'll talk about what's going on in the chart a little bit. Okay, so this is our Aries full moon chart. This full moon is happening on September 29th, 2023 at 5:57 a.m. and that is Eastern time. So, gosh, there's a lot here. Here is our full moon, our sun moon opposition at 6 degrees of Aries exactly. Okay. Now, we have Pallas Athena here, conjunct the sun, opposing the full moon. We have our asteroid goddess of discord, Eris, exactly, look at that, exactly conjunct the North Node. And she's been there for a while, and she will be there for a while. This is part of our October story, this Eris conjunction with the North Node. Over here, we have Juno and Venus conjunct at 22 degrees of Leo. These two have been moving in and out of conjunction for a while. And then we also have the asteroid Karma conjunct Saturn. Very exactly, look at that. These are one minute apart in conjunction. These two have been, again, dancing in and out of exact conjunction for a while and will continue to be. These two are also a huge part of our October story. We have these two, Juno and Venus, in an exact square with Uranus. Very significant. We have the ruler of our full moon, Mars, coming into a conjunction with the South Node. There's a lot going on here. And just a side note, our good friend, the traveler Mercury, is in the realm of where our last new moon was. So we can look to messages coming from about 2 weeks ago, something tying into this revealing or this awareness or this release that we will experience with this full moon. So let's go through these a little bit. Let's talk about Pallas Athena first, because she is in a very tight opposition with the moon and conjunct the sun. Now, Pallas Athena, she rules the midheaven. She is often thought or viewed as being without emotion or detached. She is the Queen of Swords. She loves us by bringing us the truth. She believes that we do best when we know what's actually going on. And that moment of revelation is often uncomfortable. And she's like, I know you can handle this. You got this. You can handle this truth. You can handle this. So look for a truth revealing itself to you during this cycle. Even if it's a little uncomfortable, that's all right. Something being uncomfortable doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean anything is bad. It just means there's something for you to explore in there, to dig up, to play with a little bit, to see what it's really about. Now, this situation with Venus, who just took us all through a major retrograde adventure, right? Being conjunct Juno, the asteroid of commitment. A lot of times people see her as the asteroid of marriage, but I see her more about commitment, what we are committed to, which can be, it's not just romantic. Our commitments are vast and varied, right? So this is having an effect on relationships. And in fact, with our Libra new moon solar eclipse in October, just sort of putting this in there, we will collectively be beginning an entire year of relationship alignment. That can look like a lot of different things. People will be finding each other. Some people will be leaving each other. And in both of those scenarios, it will be alignment. You know, sometimes when we are with someone, we're really not there. Some of those situations are going to find healing. It's really It's like this passage that we are in now is giving us space to step into new relationships as the new being we have become. And I do want to say, I know I'm talking about Libra. The sun is in Libra. There's Libra energy in this. Aries Libra is often thought of as the relationship axis. But it's very, very important to understand that this is not really the energy of emotional romantic love. Libra is an air sign. It's more, it's not a particularly emotional, warm, loving energy. This is more about the reconciling of opposites, karmic balance of things, reaping what we sow, cosmic justice. It's more about the polarity of a thing rather than romantic love. Now, it is associated with like the rituals of romance and the things that we do when we are relating to one another. So I just wanted to sort of put that in there. This isn't really very much romantic energy with Libra. However, Venus in Leo is a romantic energy. In June, I was here saying, what do you now need in your romantic and creative expression? Because Uranus in this square, I just looked at my desk. I was literally looking for a snow globe because, and I don't have one. I don't have one here, but that's always that's the metaphor of a hard aspect with Uranus, where he takes our life and shakes it to see what sticks. Because whatever flies off during that shaking is meant to go. And there is a subsequent revealing of more space for something that is in alignment to come in. And that can mean literally something from outside coming in, or it can mean an inner working that becomes more aligned. So it's an interesting combination of energy we have, but truly, excuse me, all over this is reconciling of opposites. That is one of the functions of Aries. Aries is the one who pokes at each side like the devil's advocate when something is not right, it's not in alignment, it's not dignified, it's not in our best, most benevolent interest. It's not in the natural order. That's a big one. Aries is very concerned about this disconnect with the natural world that we exist in now. So this whole thing can feel like a big shakeup. Karma and Saturn, two karmic forces coming into conjunction, saying it's time for some shifts. It's time for some reaping, time for some justice. And, you may think I mean that in a worldly way. I really don't. I generally stay unaware of the details of our, news world, but it can mean that too. It can mean justice in the real world, but it's really about this reconciling of polarity, of taking responsibility for the discord that we feel, stepping out of victim mindset. I say stepping out of victim mindset in a gentle way. There isn't any judgment there. So, yeah, there's a momentum here. A lot of the energy through the last several months has been really sticky and kind of, for some of us, like a little depressing, like hungry for a change. Change is a coming. Change is a coming. And if you look up here, our dominant energy is actually cardinal Earth, Capricorn, which is interesting because that ties us back to Pallas Athena, who is the ruler of the midheaven. She brings us that truth, which cuts away blockages that are preventing us from stepping into our greater purpose. I'm not talking about what we do for money. What we do for money hardly matters. What is our greater purpose? That snow globe of our life could be shaking up to reveal some space for something new to come in during October. So let me pause here and I'll get ready to deliver some messages for each of the signs. General readings, as you know. All right. Okay, my friends. So it's much later in the day, and I apologize for the glasses and the glare here, but to be real with you, I've been in front of the screen, in front of this camera all day, and my eyes are like, we a little fatigued, girl. So it is what it is. So I'm going to be drawing tarot from this deck, the Forest of Enchantment. I love this deck. And I'm also going to be pulling a Lenormand card. So I've already shuffled. I'm going to cut my deck and then we will get started. 1, 2, 3 for the tarot, and 1, 2, 3 for Lenormand. Okay. So Aries, it's your full moon. This is, of course, happening in your first house. So this is a deeply personal cycle for you, deeply personal, and will very likely be changing something, a priority, a focus in your life. Your very identity is involved here, and your physical body. I do want you to get some extra rest. There's also a beautiful opportunity for you to bring some of your relations into balance. And when I say relations, I don't just mean your love interests. I mean your relationships with your community, your family, and with the non-physical kingdoms, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the mineral kingdom. Which allies from these realms are wanting to come and support you through this very powerful passage? So get some extra rest, take care of your physical body, and let this change, this revelation, guide you in ways that you can trust. You can trust what's happening now. The card that I pulled for you, can you see this? This is the Council of Animals. And this is a very interesting card in this deck because it is a little bit about judgment. This is, sorry, I had to let the dog out. So this is the card about forgiveness, about facing some truths that may seem hard. And that's interesting because that's a big part of this full moon anyway. And it is deeply personal for you. But you're ready to face it. You're ready to greet whatever this is bringing to you. There is a big thread of forgiveness here about grace, offering that to yourself and others wherever it is needed and appropriate and necessary, and you'll know which is which, right? You'll know. The Lenormand card for you is the garden. And this is a place of gathering. So we know that this for you involves other people. And this is a supremely positive card. This is a card that tells me that whatever comes from this will be something that you end up getting to celebrate. And, maybe there's a social event calling your name. And if so, this would be a yes to attend that, to get out there and mingle, to let some other people fill your cup in new and different ways, and to give you an opportunity to do that for others as well. Because as this card, the Council of Animals, is representing, you're not an island. It's not just you. While yes, you can do anything and depend on yourself for the strength to do that, but you don't always have to. Sometimes it's time to step into the circle of others and to trust that there's some give and take that can happen there. Happy full moon, Aries. Much love to you. Let me know how you are doing. Happy full moon, Taurus. This full moon is happening in your 12th house. So you may be feeling like you prefer your own company during this time, and that's perfectly okay, because there's something brewing for you. If you are feeling like you want to be alone for a while, I really hope that you let yourself have that, because there truly is an incubation happening if that's you. Because you are such a steady and grounded being, sometimes your own energy is the only medicine for you to see what is there when there's no other input. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. The Three of Spells. So this tells me that there's something that you are getting ready to put out into the world. And in order to do so, there's a little bit of letting go, like of putting the thing out there, putting your wishes out there, your project, whatever it is, and then releasing it, releasing attachment to the outcome, releasing, you don't have to babysit it. You just do your thing, put it out there, and let it do what it do. These are actually walnut shells that these candles are floating in. And there's some lore there that says if someone gives you a bag of walnuts, then that means that your most recent wish is about to come true. So what is it that you've been wishing for? If there's something very obvious that you have been wishing for, I challenge you to spend the next 6 weeks looking for evidence that that is in fact the case, because this is a very positive energy. This tells me that anything that is revealed to you during this full moon, and maybe even extending all the way through eclipse season, has a much longer reach in your life than you may think. It's a lot of possibility flowing for you right now. Let's see what the Lenormand says. Oh, yeah, got the anchor. This is you. So something going on right now is going to offer lasting, solid, grounded stability, just like you. It's like a matchy match. Like This is something that can hold you, support you. And honestly, if you let this anchor drop appropriately, you know what I mean by that? You then have more freedom because you have something to hold you, to ground you. Then you get to move and sway, take risks, believe in yourself, you know, because you're still held in safety, in solid groundedness. This looks really, really beautiful for you, Taurus. Congratulations. And I hope that you are giving yourself the credit that you deserve. Let me know how you are. Happy full moon. Hey, Gemini. Happy full moon. How are you, you brilliant genius, you? So, this full moon, sorry, uno momento. This full moon is lighting up your 11th house. So this is the place where we kind of reap things later on. Things in this house take longer to warm up. This is a beautiful gift of being able to borrow future joy now. And, you know, it's a little bit kind of the secret to the secret of managing time. I've spoke about that a lot today, and I'm going to talk about that in the October rundown. Anyway, that was a little side note, but there's something here where you may have a shock or a surprise. Something may not go the way you thought it was going to go. And if that's the case, don't let it change your hopes for the future. And I don't mean don't change what you're hoping for. Change what you're hoping for if that is where you're going, where you're being led. What I really mean is don't let it change the potential, the possibility, your hope for the future. Because honestly, this is a very hopeful time. This is quite glorious even. And I'm feeling like, let's see what your tarot card is here. Okay. So don't get so focused on what you're carrying that you don't notice what is hiding below, right? So the question is this guy about to pounce, or is he hiding from you, thinking, you know, that he doesn't know you, stranger danger type of thing? Or is he like, I'd really like to munch on them sticks you got carrying. Those look really tasty, you know? But you can tell this guy on the bridge, he's oblivious. He's just carrying his stuff. He's not very steady on his feet. So there's a balance here, Gemini. There's a grounding. You want both of your feet on the ground for this. You can hold both things together at the same time if you want to. You're really good at juggling. This is, you know, basically like the Two of Pentacles, right? The Two of Pentacles. So you, Gemini, you're good at juggling two things. And in fact, there's a part of you that needs two things to juggle, to keep your mind occupied. And you are fully, totally capable of doing that, having two balls up in the air and having 2 feet on the ground. You really can. And now is the time for you to do that. I don't feel like anything is like dire, or that, you know, if you happen to not be able to get both feet on the ground, that you're in any kind of trouble or anything. But you'll be able to shift when it's time to shift more easily if you have access to your own grounding, right? Does that make sense? And this very well could, what is on? I think that's pen on my finger. I don't know. This tells me that this is probably could be about your job. It could be about what you're doing for a living. Could be time for you to step up, for you to ask for a promotion, and also for you to step into boss mode of your life. Notice I don't mean bossy mode. I don't mean you have to rough anything into place, but I mean like the type of awareness where you're taking responsibility for what you are now experiencing because it is a reflection of your past decisions. That's all I mean. And that you can take responsibility for that 11th house future harvest based on what you reap now. This is you as the master of your own ship. You've totally got this, Gemini. Happy full moon. Let me know how you are. Happy full moon, Cancer. How are you? Good to see you. This full moon is landing in your 10th house. So for you in particular, this is going to be a very prominent period of time. With Pallas Athena in the room and this falling in your 10th house, this is your cosmic job description. What needs to be cut away? Go back and listen to what I said about Pallas Athena and what she cuts away and what she leaves room for when she does that by delivering the truth to us. Now, a lot of times when these lunations, when these full moons land in one of our cardinal houses, it's often a time of upheaval. And I'm not saying that to scare you, because upheaval can be also exciting, rewarding, and a sign of shifts that you've been wanting for a long time. Like, don't be afraid of the upheaval, right? Let's see what your cards are. Oh, yeah. Yes. So there's a bit of confusion swirling here. This is the 7 of Visions in this deck. It's the equivalent of the 7 of Cups. So things are not clear. You may be toying, or you may have too many options available to you. You may be having a hard time making a decision about things, or what this full moon brings to you may create kind of a swirling cauldron situation where you're like, I don't know which way is up. I don't know which way is down. I don't know where I'm going, Ananda. And I'm saying, yes, I know. That's okay. So this just means that now is not the time to make a really important decision about this. If you're feeling unsure, let yourself feel unsure. Let yourself not know. It's totally fine. Oh, look. Yeah, it's clouded. The answers are not available right now. That's because something is moving into place. Things are being shifted around. It's not time yet. You're not meant to know yet. And that's totally fine. You are totally fine. It is okay to be in this state of the cards are in the air. You know what? Have a cupcake, have a nap, go to a movie, enjoy yourself, enjoy not making a decision right now. Amen to that, right? Happy full moon. Let me know what happens here. What's going on? Let me know. What you doing, Leo? Happy full moon. How are you? So, Leo, dear gorgeous shining one, this full moon is happening in your 9th house. And, a lot of times When lunations fall in our ninth house, we don't always feel them very much. And that's because the ninth house can be a little bit abstract. So this could mean, though, that there's a bit of schooling coming for you. And by schooling, I don't mean literal. I don't mean literal going to school. I mean something that is going to require you to grow and stretch. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? It could also require that you open yourself up to experiencing something that you have shut yourself off from until now. And let me be clear, doesn't have to feel comfortable for us to do that, for you to do that. Feeling good is not always the green light signal. And that's one of the things that Aries is here to teach us. Aries likes it when we do something that we are afraid of, but we know is right. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what your card says. Yeah. So the Four of Boons, this is the equivalent of the Four of Pentacles in the tarot. And look at their grumpy ass faces. They're like, we got all these pies and you hoarding your pies, you won't share your pies. And that's very unlike you, Leo, because you are a warm, generous heart, aren't you? So I don't think that this is literal that you are, not sharing. You're good at sharing. Good at sharing. This tells me, though, that there is something, a type of receiving and a type of giving that you have been resisting. What's that about? There's no shame in it. There's no shame in it. Just now's the time for a shift in that pattern. What is it that you really want to receive and or give? Because there's plenty of it. There's plenty to go around. You getting some doesn't mean somebody else doesn't, and vice versa. There's enough for everybody. Let's see what your Lenormand says. Yeah, the mountain. So something's feeling very blocked here. But, this is one of your big lessons, isn't it? There's something extraordinarily profound here. And if you have access to a mentor or a teacher, now would be a really good time to consult with them, because the mountain, this represents the north. The north is where our hard lessons live. It's where our teachers live, or it's where we as the teacher lives. Are you info hoarding? Are you hoarding your gifts? Are you not allowing yourself to be seen as the mountain? You'll know if this is you. You know what I'm saying? But you can be gentle about this. This isn't something for you to push up against, because you can't push a mountain. You can't push it. All you can do is go around it and go through it, or you can climb it. And that takes time, preparation, skill, and patience. All of which you have. You totally got this. You've totally got this. Let me know how you are. Happy full moon, Leo. Happy full moon, Virgo. My astrological siblings. So this Aries full moon is happening in your 8th house. So no matter what, this is going to involve other people in one way or another. And the power that is created In that divine, delicious, intense meeting of two. And I say that, we know the eighth house is the house of our concepts of death and sexuality, magic, intense, intimate experiences. But the fact that Aries rules your eighth house in the first place tells us quite a lot about you, doesn't it? It tells us that you are highly motivated to have those types of experiences. This is part of your depth. So this aspect of you that is, it's something it's something we're a little secretive about sometimes, isn't it? We guard that. Virgo guards some of that that part of us that others affect. We don't want them to know that it affects us, right? But this season that we're stepping into, we may not be able to keep everything under wraps. Things affect us. Big freaking whoop. We're human beings, right? To be a being that runs so deep, it's time to let some of that depth see the light of day. And there could be something hidden that is revealed from that eighth house depth. So welcome it. It's something that you've been needing, looking for, most likely. Oh, goodness. Okay. So we have the Seven of Swords. This is the lying, cheating, stealing card. And we've got the sly foxes stealing our stuff right here. Okay. Now, the tricky thing about this card is that it's very difficult to tell exactly what's happening. Maybe not in this card specifically, in this deck, but in the Seven of Swords in traditional tarot, the character, he's moving forward, backward, and sideways all at the same time. This is a slippery, sneaky type of energy. We can't really tell what's happening, right? So this means we have to bring our highly perceptive awareness to what is happening. We have to hear the things that are being said in between people's words, if you know what I mean. What we see, it's likely not what really is. So walk with awareness that not everything is as it seems, but we have a positive note. This tells us that it's going to be fine. Whatever this is, they're wasting their energy, and we're not going to let it waste ours, is what I'm hearing. Okay. This can happen and not necessarily affect you other than the awareness of it. And sometimes that awareness helps us make some decisions, right? But however it goes, we're the lucky one. Virgo, you're the lucky one. You're the lucky one. It's going to be totally fine, regardless of whatever mess you're looking at. Okay. So this is hope for the future. This is blessings and healing, which means that this is an old story. Happy full moon. Hey, Libra. Happy full moon. How are you doing? Yeah, I hear you. So I have a bit of a special message for you, and that is that because this full moon is lighting up your 7th house. It is connected to your descendant. Aries full moons in that area often bring arguments, breakups, or like just general relational upheavals. One time I was going on a date with someone who I knew it was an Aries full moon, and I knew that it was landing in a place in our chart that was too spicy to touch, really. And I did it anyway, and everything just went crazy. Disaster. Breakup, big drama, broken hearts, right? I'm not saying that that's what's necessarily in store for you. What I am saying is that this is not a time to play with fire. Sometimes we do this. Sometimes we go toward something that we know it's not time for. You know what I'm saying? So if there is an upheaval that happens, it's not going to be a surprise, is really the situation. If you want to avoid touching the hot stove, don't go in the kitchen. That's what I'm saying. Okay. For real. Because like sometimes the energy is too conductive of drama for you to go near it. Now it is, of course, your choice. But you know what I'm saying. And honestly, the cards are speaking of this, because this card speaks of like, pettiness and defensiveness, but also if you encounter that you can hold your own. Doesn't have to be pots flying through the air. It doesn't have to be high drama coming from you, right? Can't control what other people be doing. So use this information wisely. Don't go into situations that you know are too hot to touch, because under this energy for you, this can have things piling up, and it can encourage interactions that are not of the most mature quality, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. If this is for you, you know what I'm saying. You know the situation, you know the person I'm talking about, you know whether you want to blow this up or not. Okay. Dragon and snake. The fact that you have dragon and snake also tells me that you are greatly protected. There is, the protection of Mama Dragon and Mama Snake is of supreme quality. Okay. So whatever you choose, if you do choose to blow this up, good on you. Do it consciously, though. That's what I'm saying. However you handle the situation that is bubbling, do it intentionally. Go towards it saying, I'm ready to throw gas on this fire, or don't and say, I don't want to deal with the drama today. Either way is totally fine. And there's something about doing the thing, knowing you're doing it, taking responsibility for making the choice. That's where the real magic lies. Let me know what happens, Libra. Happy full moon. Hey, Scorpio. Happy full moon. How are you? This full moon is lighting up your 6th house. So just right off the bat, I definitely want you to get extra rest, take special care of your physical self during the next 6 weeks and beyond, of course, but especially during this time of increased intensity. Next month, your ruling planets, Mars and Pluto, are going to square each other, and Pluto is doing all kinds of things. So you want to be ready to face the day, okay? You want to be rested and at your best. And what I don't want you to do is to try and control what's happening. I want you to put your chess pieces away, because stepping into trust during this period of time is going to be very healing for you. The 6th house is where we learn how to be with other people in healthy ways, right? So this full moon could bring something to your doorstep that gives you an opportunity to choose trust or not trust, to choose stretching and growing in ways that you haven't yet or not. And either way, we're going to release control over how other people are thinking, how other people are perceiving you, how other people are moving in the situation. That ain't your business. Let you and your own magic be your business, because this has a really ripe energy for you. And I mean ripe as in full, juicy, delicious peaches kind of ripe, like yummy. That kind of ripe. You know, the kind of deliciousness that you love but don't always trust. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. So this is a it's funny. This is a card of trusting the wonder of your life, of look at that beautiful spiral. Oh my God. Hush. Sorry. People are existing outside. It's too much for my dog to handle their existence. Hush. It's all right, baby. You see that spiral spider web, and how this child is just delighted by the glimmer of the water on the webs and the damp grass on her feet. This is the connection with innocence. And innocence contains an element of trust, doesn't it? I don't mean blind trust. I mean trust really in you, in your ability to walk through this period of time with dignity, grace. Hold on a second. Yes. So this can help connect you, reconnect you with your childlike innocence, where you're not spending a lot of time worried about what other people are doing, because you've got your own magic to tend to. You have your own date with the wildness of life that is just utterly delightful and available to you. You know what I mean? And baby, the sun is shining. This is a beautiful, this is a beautiful full moon for you. It truly, truly is. You're going to step out of this shining like the sun. And I'm actually, the two of these cards in combination have a very sun card of traditional tarot, with the child on horseback being just natural, being naked and safe and invigorated. Sorry, it's just chaos over here. That's the trust I'm talking about. All right. Happy full moon, Scorpio. Let me know how you are. Let me know how this message lands for you. Hey, Sagittarius. Happy full moon. How the heck are you? This full moon is big for you. This is falling in your 5th house. And you know, there's some yum here. There's some yumminess. So looking forward into October, the next 6 weeks and beyond, this can open the doorway for a new creative project, for a new opportunity to express yourself and be seen, you know, to be witnessed in your beautiful expression. You will have to take a little bit of a risk for this, but I think you're ready. I mean, I think that if this is what's happening, if you're like, yes, Ananda, this message is for me, then you're ready, because you've been through this extended incubation period where maybe you felt a little stagnant, and now that life feels like it's returning a little bit. So trust it. Grab whatever is yours to grab right now, because I think that there are a lot of things that were yours to grab that you didn't grab. And that's okay, because there's no such thing as like a missed boat. There's just another one and another one. And it's totally fine to not grab something that you're not ready for. But I think now you're ready. Let's see what the cards say. Oh, yes. Hello. So this is the Forest Lord, but it's also the Emperor. So this is you bossing up, and this is Father Nature. I see him as Father Nature, coming to bless you with great abundance. This is such an abundance card that, like, I mean, what are you working on? Because it's gonna bring you abundance and actual real life money things, money things, money and things, but abundance in all the ways. Let's see what you're, oh my God. But yeah, actual money. This card, the fish in Lenormand, is about wealth. So, okay. So this card tells me that you've got to be the boss. So if you are a person who has multiple irons in the fire, and you know, Sag, you're a mutable fire being, so you probably are doing more than one thing. This is about the thing where you're the boss. If you don't have a thing where you're the boss, then it's time to ask for a raise, it's time to ask for a promotion, or it's time to start something that is only yours. It's time to self-employ yourself, if you know what I'm saying, because this is a huge financial blessing, huge, but you have to be the boss. Father Nature is like, I got these treasures for you. You want them? You got to walk with me. Got to walk with Father Nature, who is the Forest Lord. And trust that natural flow. Trust that what's coming is for you. I got to know what you're up to. I just lifted my arm and there were like 25 cards stuck to my arm. Happy full moon, Sagittarius. Let me know what you're working on. Are you the boss? Are you the boss yet? Are you about to be the boss? I want to know. Happy full moon. Congrats, actually. This is quite lovely. Hey, Capricorn. So, you as a cardinal sign are one of the beings that are going to be more affected by this full moon and eclipse season next month. This full moon, this Aries full moon, is landing in your fourth house. So, this is a deeply personal moment. This is affecting your home, your family, your connection with the other worlds, and your deepest, most tender psychology, your inner child, even. So I hear you're like, well, that sucks. That sounds awful. No, that's not where we're going with this, because you know, this could be a situation where you are not meant to keep everything under control. You are perfectly capable of keeping everything under control, and that doesn't mean that you have to. Doesn't mean that that's inherently your job. In fact, if this full moon is doing its work on you, you will have a moment, at least one, of deep, simmering emotion that could be really delicious. I know that it could be outside of your comfort zone, but when we're dealing with the fourth house, I mean, that's where all our sensitivities are. All of them. Every bit exists there. So there is something within you wanting to come to light right now. And it's okay if you feel private about it, but if it involves your family, your home, get the support that you need and go see someone who can listen without judgment. Because your home is where you let your freak flag fry. Freak not fry. Freak flag fly. Whew, it's been a long day. Yes. So at home is where you let your fires burn, right? With the people there, with the walls that hold you in their safety. That's where you feel your inner flame. So when this becomes intense or when there's change involved, it feels scary because that's like your safety zone, right? And you're like, I don't want my safety zone to be changing. But there is change coming. Look at this beautiful card. This is the fairy wind. This is the equivalent of the chariot, which means that there's swift movement coming. And honestly, it's literally a moving card too. And the fact that this is a moving card and we're talking about your home and family, some of you might literally be moving home. If you're not literally changing house or moving home, there's something involving this theme that is ready to change. But one of the good things about this card, there's hardly a bad thing about this card, really. But one of the really good things about this card is that the changes, the swift changes that this card brings are the type that generally everybody celebrates. Everybody's like, yeah, way to go. Yay. So happy for you. So excited. So don't let the swiftness or the change aspect of it throw you off. Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh, wow. So there's a choice to make. You're literally at a crossroads. And this is also a road. The chariot is a vehicle of movement. So make your choice and trust yourself. Trust yourself to make the right turn at the right time. Because the wind is going to blow you in the right direction. You can trust it. Yeah, you can trust it. News is on the wind, Capricorn. Happy full moon. Good luck with everything. Let me know how you are. Hey, Aquarius. Happy full moon. How are you? This Aries full moon lands in your third house. So this is where you are processing information. This is where your mindset lives. This is the house of communication. It's also, the house of like media and music and the ways that we communicate. So there could be something, a pattern in your mindset that is ready to crack open, a subtle shift. And now I'll tell you, sometimes full moons that land in our third house aren't something that we generally notice, perhaps. That can be true, but it is still an opportunity for you to harness this energy for your benefit. Because, look at this, because if there is something in your patterning, something in the way that you are thinking about things that has you stuck in a loop of lack, then this is time for that to shift, sometimes it's literally just about turning around and looking in a different direction, or allowing yourself to reframe something, to see it a little bit differently, not in a way that is self-gaslighty. No. We're being honest with ourselves and allowing maybe a bit of a zoom out so we can get more information and a bigger, better picture, a view of what's actually happening. Because if these kids would just look on the other side of their blanket, they would see there's a lovely house right there, warm, the doors lit up and welcoming, and they're cold. They're like, we only have like 2 berries. What the heck? What are we going to do? But all they have to do is zoom out and see the full picture. And there's so much waiting for them. Oh, looky here. Yeah, talking about zooming out. The ship, this is literally about, okay, so it can literally be about travel. Maybe you feel like you've missed out on something, or the way this goes is going to take you places, literal and metaphorical, that you just couldn't have imagined. Imagine that. Imagine going from this zoomed in feeling of lack, stuckness, the feeling of being forgotten, being left out in the cold, of not having the resources that you need, to this on a grand adventure. The wind beneath your sails. No, wind. Not the wind beneath my wings, the wind in your sails. Yeah, this can also be about news coming, like, maybe there's an owl coming with a message for you that will help you see the bigger picture, to see blessings that you totally didn't know were there, but have had your name on them all along. Happy full moon, Aquarius. The next 6 weeks, try to open to this shift, not in a gaslighty way, in a way that feels spacious, expanded, expansive, where you have room within yourself to roam, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Happy full moon, Aquarius. Hey, Pisces. Happy full moon. How the heck are ya? I don't know if you can hear the 15,000 dogs barking, so it's just chaos over here. How are you doing? Do you have chaos where you are? So this full moon is landing in your second house. So this is about your personal power. It's about your personal resources, and it is deeply connected to how you feel about yourself, what you think you're capable of, what you call yours, what you are calling in to your sacred heart, if you know what I mean. This is, of course, the house of money and stuff, your things. But you're deeper than that, aren't you? Not to say that those are not deep topics. They are required topics that, excuse me, that we all face and handle and manage, for sure. So what's interesting about this for you is that because this is an Aries full moon, it's really, it's an ending to something. It's a culmination of something that will then make way for a new cycle. And so what's actually this is a beautiful, this is the Four of Wands, and this speaks of a time of celebration, a time of coming together, a community celebrating together. And it's also a reference to the way that we are held in community. And because this is connected to your second house, that community affects how you feel about yourself. And then these beings, these people, become a part of your resources, become part of an energy source that you get to tap into for support, for guidance, for love, for collaboration. This is not a card of, you being alone, even though the second house is deeply personal, very much about you. So this tells me that there's a coming together of these energies, of you and others coming together as one for one purpose. There's almost an 11th house energy here, which is interesting because it's just interesting. There's an alignment that is creating a new foundation for something beautiful to blossom. Oh my gosh, Pisces, look at you. Aren't you the lucky one? Literally, aren't you the lucky one? I just tried to move my finger. It didn't. This is the clover. And this is the Six of Diamonds. So, I mean, if we're talking about your money looks good. Looks really good. Looks really good, especially if the way that you earn your money is with other people, in collaboration, in celebration, in coming together in a group setting. I know that you are good by yourself, and that's awesome. And this is a time to be with others and to let them fill your cup, because aren't you the lucky one? Happy full moon, Pisces. I hope it's freaking glorious. Let me know just how glorious it is. Much love.